Hi beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be drafting a Bustier. If you have ever wanted to draft a Bustier and you either are not getting it tight enough or firm enough, or it's folding on the underbust, then this is for you. Now we started off with our starting line. Next thing will be to get all our measurements, so from the shoulder to the bust point, from the shoulder to the underbust, and from the shoulder to the half length, the waistline, and also the top length of the top we're going to be working with. So I took from my shoulder to my bust point, which is 10.5, and then to my underbust is 15.5, and then to my waist is 17.5, and the length is 20. I'm going to rule a line across it so we can easily see all what we'll be measuring. So I'll rule a line for the bust point, I'll rule a line for the underbust, I'll rule a line for the waist, and I would also rule a line for the length of the top we're going to be working with. Now, after getting all these lines, the next thing will be to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7.5, and then I'll also be taking the neckline measurement, which is 3. I don't really need it, but this is just for the purpose of this tutorial. So this was a basic bodice that I drafted that I turned into a bustier. Now, next thing I will do is to get the armhole measurement. To get the armhole measurement, what I will do is to divide my bust by 6 and add 1.5, and I will rule a line. Next thing I'll do is to get the depth of my neckline for the front. Here I would also be using 3 inches just for the purpose of this tutorial. You can use whatsoever you want. Now, after this, the next measurement we're going to be taking would be, I'll join the neckline for the front together and make a curve so we can see what we have for the front. Now, the neckline for the front is all done. Next thing will be to take 1 inch from our starting point on that armhole line, which is for our shoulder slope. Now, like I said, I'm drafting a basic bodice that I'm going to turn into a bustier. I will take the measurement of my bust divided by 4. I'll put it there. I'll take that of my waist divided by 4. Right here, I'm just labeling everything so we know what we are working with. I would also take the length for the length of the top. I will use my hip measurement divided by 4. Right now, I'm going to join these lines together, and as you can see, I have been able to form a basic bodice for the front. Now, the next thing will be to make sure that there's no any sharp point, so I will just be sinking it in. Now, for the front bodice, I'll divide that line by 2 to get the midpoint. Once I get the midpoint, I would mark there, and the next thing will be to take 1/2 inch inwards. Now, this is for the front armhole to sit properly. I'm going to take my pattern master and join it, so from the top to that midpoint, and then from the midpoint to the point where I have as my bust measurement. After all this, now it is ready. This is our front basic bodice. To change it to a bustier, I will take my nipple measurement divided by 2. Now mine is 8, so 4 inches. 4 inches, I'm going to take it on the bust point line, on the underbust line, on the waistline, and then the full length of the top. All of this I will join together with a straight line. Once I join everything together, this is where it now becomes technical. So you can use whatsoever you want here, depending on the bust size or the body size. For here, towards the center, I'm going to take 1 inch, and towards the side, I'm going to take 1.5 inch. Now, this way, for my bust size, this works well. For other people that have smaller bust, you can take 0.75 towards the middle, and you take 1 inch towards the side, or you take 0.5 towards the middle and 1 inch towards the side. It all depends on it. For me, I like to come down from the bust point by 0.75 inches. This is for me not to have that pointed look, and for it to be well sculpted. Now I would join this I'll use my curved ruler to join it. I don't want it to be too curved, so you see how I'm doing it. Just follow through. After this, I would also go to the other side, the centerpiece, and do the same thing. See how I turned my pattern master. That's what you will do. Next thing will be to go towards that shoulder slope. You will take your tape and divide whatever you have there by 2. Put a mark there and take your ruler. From that mark, join it to your bust point line where you have your nipple by nipple divided by 2, just like I have done. After this, the next thing you would want to do is for you to have your bust not to show too much. You can decide to use this line, which is your chest line, as your reference, but if you don't want it, then you would go up by maybe 1 inch, 1.5, depending on your preference. And this will also enable you to be able to do a tightening, especially if you are making a sweeter neck. Now for that tightening, you go in by 0.5 on both sides. This 0.5 is for you to tighten that point. So this is a sweeter neck, so you understand what I'm saying. Now you take your ruler, do like I have done on both sides of that point. For me, I went up from my chest line by 1.5 inches. So also this is a way to also tighten your shoulder if maybe you're working with, if it's not an armless bustier, if it's something that has hand and the shoulder is included, this would help to snatch that shoulder and it will sit perfectly. Now there's one more thing I always like to do, which is after I have used my pattern master, I would still use my hand to craft and mold that point. This is a secret that has always helped me. It has helped me to make my bustier well sculpted. Like, I usually don't have any issue with my bustier. My bustiers are always sitting perfectly well, and this is the reason. So you slightly take it. If you can see from this now, you'll see that I've come down a little bit more from the line I drew, because that one is making it look pointed, but with this it is looking well curved and it is sitting properly. Now everything still depends on how you interface your fabric. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to extend those lines from the under bust straight to the length of my top, the same measurement on both sides. Now I want to snatch my waist by just 1 inch, so I'm going to take ½ inch at the front, and I'll also do the same thing when I'm drafting the back. Rather, I want to snatch my waist by 2 inches. So if I take this ½ inch on both sides, it's going to be 2 inches, and on the back, so you understand. Now I'm going to be replacing that I took in the front to the side, which is 2 inches, right? Yes. So I'll replace it. Whatsoever you have as your dart, measure it, replace it, and add your sewing allowance. I added 1 inch for my sewing allowance because I do not want a lot of sewing allowance, because I'll still end up cutting it, right? So after you have done this, you measure it 2.5 inches. Mine was 2.5 inches, sorry. So you replace it back, even at the at all points. You replace it at your waist, you replace it at your length of your dress, right? And you add your 1 inch allowance. Please, if you don't understand, always go back so you'd understand. After this, I will take my curved ruler and make that line from the waist to the length of the dress, just like I am doing. And I would also take from the bust line, which is the chest line, down to that waist. Using a ruler, I will just join it together, just like you have seen. Now after that, I would make sure there's no sharp point at any place. So I'm just trying to make sure there's no sharp point here. Now, this last thing we're going to be doing is for my top not to be just pointed. I'll go up by 0.75 inches and just curve it a little bit towards the center of my top. Do you understand? Now, once I curve it that way, I'm just showing the places where I will be cutting out on this front piece to show that, okay, these are the places I'll be cutting out and every other place would be there. Next thing I want to do is to do my sweetheart neck. So I just have to take a curve from that center towards the center and then to the other side. Please, if you don't understand, I didn't know my camera was not recording at this point, so it wasn't showing when I did the sweetheart neck. But all you have to do is just bring from that center, bring a curve towards the middle and bring a curve towards the side and sink it into the armhole line, and I would cut it out. So thank you. Next thing, now you can see that I have cut out all my pieces. I was also not recording at this point and I thought I was, so I am sorry. I would start now with the back. The back would also need similar measurements, which is the starting point line. We will need the chest line. We don't really need the underbust line, but we need the waistline and then the full length of the dress. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is to take our normal body measurement. So I was also making the armhole here, divide it by 2, take a ruler across it, and I didn't want my back to show too much. So what I did was go up from my chest line. You can leave your back at that point. This was going to have a corset, a loop at the back. So I wanted to go up because I didn't want my back to, I didn't want it to be at my chest line. I wanted it to come up a bit. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to take my bust measurement divided by 4. Here, 10 inches. I'll add my sewing allowance of 1 inch. Next thing will be to do what? Create my armhole curve, which is just from that point where I measured my bust. I'm just going to take it. So the difference between the front and the back is that there is no coming in by 1/2 inch, right? Now, after that, the next thing I will do will be to rule. I already, this same thing I wasn't recording. I am sorry. I just came out from that point of the back by 2 inches and I ruled it down. This is for snatching effect and for the corset loop that is going to be at the back. I would do another detailed tutorial for this back, but this is what we have for now. So I'm going to be cutting that part out. I'm just indicating that I'll be cutting that part out. And next thing I'm going to do is also to come up by 0.75 inches so that it's not sharp and I have a curved look at the end. Now, after this, we're basically almost done with everything. We just need to cut out the back piece. And I wanted a little open back, so this was me just creating that loop at that point. So because it was going to have a yoke, so this is the yoke for the back and I was just creating the loop. If you want more detailed explanation on this, kindly let me know. And after this, we can see that we'll just touch up the neckline just to create a curve at that back, and the back piece would be ready. This is all that we have so far. Please, if you enjoy my videos, if you want me to explain further, if you don't understand anything, please just leave a comment and I will do well to respond to you. Thank you for always sticking through with me, and thank you for the subscribers, guys. We're at 20 subscribers. That is something that I never saw coming, and I know we will do better and bigger as the time goes on. I have more really good tutorials to share with you guys. And if you want me to put up any tutorial, just leave a comment about what you want me to put up, and I will definitely put it up. Thank you guys for staying with me. Thank you guys for encouraging me. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for everything. I really appreciate, and I wouldn't be able to continue without you guys. If nobody was watching my videos, I don't think I would continue, but you guys have stayed true, watching and motivating me to do more, and I really appreciate. Thank you guys so much. This now brings us to the end of this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like, give me a share, give me your subscription, guys, and just encourage me more and more. Thank you so much, guys. I know I said thank you because I'm overwhelmed. I just started and I'm already at 20 subscribers. It's only you guys that can do this. Thank you so much, guys, and see you again on my next one. Bye.